Coming up on Michigan Replay, the Wolverines get their first road win of the year by throttling Indiana. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet a long, tall left-hander making the most of his last year in maize and blue. And we'll look ahead and scout a huge battle against Minnesota with the brown jug at stake. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by The Joy of Pepsi and by Big Boy Restaurants. Big Boy makes you say, oh boy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, the Wolverines go on the road to Indiana and get a 35-14 victory over the Hoosiers, but it really was a lot tighter than that, wasn't it, Coach Carr?
Well, it certainly was.
You kind of helped make it tight in that first half.
Offensively, we missed some opportunities, turned the ball over on the 1-yard line, and then we turn it over at our own 11. So we put our defense in bad field position.
Is it a tough game to play on the road between two big home games? I don't want to use that as an excuse, but
well, I think any time you play on the road in this conference, you can expect to get the other team's best shot. I mean, in Indiana, I credit their coaches. They had a great game plan, and their team played awfully hard into the second half.
And as we take a look at the highlights, one of the things that happened in this game, and you said you should expect something a little bit different, and they came up on their first series with a fake punt that really caught you off guard.
Well, we did a great job throughout the day defensively against the rush. If you take away this play that's about to happen right here that gained 32 yards, I thought it was a great call by Jared Arno and his staff, and finally Leon Hall gets him knocked out. We had a return. We had a perfect defense for them to run that play, and it gave them a great lift, and fortunately for us, they lost 29 yards on this play and then had to punt the ball back to us, Jim. But the fake punt was a great call.
And on your first series, you start to move the ball, and you get some yardage on the ground from Michael Hart.
Well, we run the ball off tackle out of the one back, and Michael gains a first down, and this is a well orchestrated drive here on third down. Chad gets good protection and drills the ball to Jason Avant for a first down.
And then the touchdown to Jermaine Gonzalez. This is just a great throw by your freshman quarterback.
Well, it's off of play action, and he got hit just as he threw the ball, but a great concentration, and I couldn't be happier for this guy.
Jermaine Gonzalez.
You know, I asked him 2 days before the game, I said, Jermaine, when are you going to score a touchdown? And he said Saturday. And so I told him after the game, I said, you better tell me that every week.
I was going to say, you ought to ask him that every week.
There's a great catch by Tyler Ecker. There's a play that makes Chad look good there. And this is...
that's Houdini-like.
That is an incredible catch. I mean, it's really an interception that Braylon stole back from the defender.
And this is kind of a little bit where your troubles begin, because you missed the opportunity to get 10 points because you missed the field goal.
Jim, we have an opportunity to score on our first two drives. We missed the field goal, and you know, that's the end of the first quarter. Indiana did some wonderful things, keeping their quarterback on the move, and they're bootlegging, and then Jim had a great call. Jim Herman made a great call here, brings blitzes Lawrence Reed up the middle, and now they're going to have to punt the ball back to us. And on first down, I thought this was a great call deep in our own territory. Terry Malone calls the waggle pass, we're misdirection, and we hit Braylon for a first down.
This might be one of your best drives of the day, except for the finish.
Well, it is as good a drive as we had all day. Well executed there, the screen pass, good blocking. Michael Hart is, I thought had another good day. And here on third down, this is a rifle shot, and Braylon makes a great catch. The ball's extended and picks up, keeps the drive alive.
This next one isn't a bad rifle shot either.
It's a great throw, and Tim Massaquoi makes a great catch. And here we got the ball inside the 2-yard line, first down, and I think Chad pulls away, and instead of bringing the ball into his body, it looked to me like our guard may have knocked the ball out of his hand, and that's something Chad's got to take care of.
Boy, did your special team show up, your return game, big time.
They were the difference. Here on a punt return, 2 great blocks by Braylon Edwards. There you see right at the end. And then Leon Hall makes a play. And of course, Steve Breston did not make the trip to Indiana, and Leon and Grant Mason replaced him, and both guys came up with big plays.
It's 14-0 at this point, and your defense continues to get big hits and do a great job against the
Great
rush.
pursuit here. Marlon Jackson and McClintock and Sean Crable in there pursuing and stopping the option play.
And then here's the big disappointment.
Well, late in the half, we decided to go to our 2-minute offense, and we miss a block there, and Chad gets stripped. That to me, we got to do a better job pass protecting, but that is not a situation where you can blame the quarterback. Here, after an interesting series of plays that are reviewed, they finally get in on the last play of the half.
We'll talk about all those reviews after the highlights are over with, but that was the disappointment. You should have probably had a 21-0 lead at half, and it was 14-7, and you're in a dogfight on the road.
Well, we missed some opportunities, Jim, and on the road, when you miss opportunities, and then, one of the things that we've done too often this year offensively, we've turned the football over at the short end of the field, put our defense in poor field position.
The Wolverines still have the lead, though, at half, and then in the third quarter, they really pull away. We'll be back and show you those highlights, but first we hear from Leon Hall, who says he's filling in nicely and feels good about filling in for the injured Steve Breston.
They're big shoes to fill, but after I got word that I was going to start on there, punt return, I knew I had to step it up, and I was just hoping that I get one today, and everybody blocked their man, and then I just had to do the rest.
Michigan Replay takes you inside the locker room.
You got to hit quarterbacks who's a running quarterback. You got to let them know you're going to be there. And if you hit them hard, they fall once, next time they get rid of the ball.
The Wolverines sure got after Matt LaVecchio of Indiana, but still a tight game, 14-7 at half. And one of the things that we talked about last week is you really got to make a statement in that first possession in the second half if you're in a tight one. And you made a statement on the kickoff.
Well, Jim, we won the toss, so it meant we had the ball to start the second half. And Grant Mason finds a hole in there, a lot of good blocks. I saw Brian Thompson have a block. And some way, somehow, this guy keeps going, and gets it back all the way to the 3-yard line. That's not a bad way to start the second.
No, it isn't. And you had to go to fourth down, but Mike Hart goes over right tackle. Finally gets into the end zone to give you a 21-7 lead.
Well, there's 2 big special teams plays in a row, Jim, for 14 points to give us a 21-7 lead.
Still not out of the woods, and Indiana keeps coming at you. And this Roby, you talked about him a week ago.
He's a good football player, and they had a very well-designed pass there. Again, misdirection play. Here, Lamar stays home and takes the quarterback keeper. That
was the key, because defensively, you always got the negative play. You kept them from really getting a flow.
Jim, we did a great job we had one play, I think, over 25 yards. Here we get the football back on third down, run the draw play, and Mike picks up a first down.
And then against an all-out blitz, you get the man coverage you want with Braylon Edwards.
Well, very good protection, and in man coverage, if you can protect the quarterback, there's nobody in the country going to cover Braylon one-on-one, not for that long.
And that goes to make it a 28-7 lead. And now you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, and the defense continues to play.
Well, here is a big play off versus a trick play. Indiana was going to throw a pass off the reverse. Lawrence Reed diagnosed the play and stopped it. We get the ball back. Chad hits Jason Avon on the slant pass, and he almost came out of there.
Yeah, the thing I like, too, is in this game, he's spreading it around a little. Here's a pass to your tight end against the blitz.
Well, on third down again, Tyler Ecker gets open. I think he got held there. But on a big third down play, keep the drive alive.
And then go back to your playmaker.
Well, here again, play action pass, and Chad gets it out there, and Jim, this is the third consecutive touchdown we scored in 3 consecutive drives. So that's really put the game, put us in position to have control of the game.
Right, 35-7 at that point. And Indiana comes back and, they continue to push. And I thought they played hard. This is a 4th down play. They complete to Gordon.
Well,
and they actually ultimately come down and score.
Jim, the great thing about this 4th quarter here, we got an opportunity to play a lot of young people, and that's always a great thing to do. Here on a well-thrown ball, Matt Lavecchio on 4th down. That was 4th down and 4, makes a catch for their last touchdown.
35-14, and they're the young kids you're talking about, running back Max Martin.
Well, Max has played very well in practice the last 3 weeks. We got him in on some special teams, and he had a couple of good runs in there.
And wide receiver Adrian Arrington got his first catch.
Yes, he did, and we got an opportunity to get Clayton most of the action in the 4th quarter, and Adrian Arrington is a guy that is going to be a good football player.
35-14 the final. Congratulations on the road win. Let's go back now and talk about these replay situations that happen. And we don't want to go into detail because next week is when things are going to get settled out. But there were some problems with it.
Well, I think there's some, there's going to be problems until we be able to really decide. I had to take a timeout there at the end of the half. I'm thinking, what if that's in the 4th quarter? You got to take a timeout just to get a play reviewed, and you lose it no matter what. That's a question about what do we want really to do that. And I think, the other thing is, what is a reviewable play? We had a play in there that I didn't think should be reviewed.
Neither did I.
Well, I think, we're going to have some issues, and we just got to work our way through it and see what happens.
It's a work in progress.
Yes, it is.
Okay. In this game, talk to me about, did you get accomplished something you wanted to improve each week? Did you get what you wanted out of this game against Indiana?
Jim, I think our special teams are getting better. I think we've got to stop turning the football over, and I think we got bigger challenges here versus a pretty good running team coming to town.
I would say there's a huge challenge. We'll scout those Minnesota Gophers a little later in the program. We're going to come back next, though, and visit with Spencer Britton. In the meantime, we want you to hear from Jermaine Gonzalez, who talks about how much he likes his freshman quarterback.
What Chad Henne been doing for us, this football team this year, it's been a great thing. I remember when I was a freshman coming up here playing quarterback, and things was just everywhere. I was just here and there with everything. And a way for him to just come in, and learn the offense and, just play the way he's playing, it's a tremendous thing for him.
Did you know that Spencer Britton, Michigan's senior quarterback, actually started at quarterback for San Diego State as a true freshman back in 1997? He was on the fast track until an injury cut his next season short. Then came a 2-year Mormon mission to South Africa, and then he came to Michigan. But injuries have kept Spencer from really reaching his potential. Despite the injuries, he petitioned and received a 6th year of eligibility from the NCAA. The prospects of him getting a lot of playing time are slim. But Spencer Britton doesn't care. Sometimes it's not all about playing time.
Most athletes, anybody that has that competitive drive, you have that. If you go down with an injury or something or have a setback, you have that competitive drive and that hope that something is going to happen if you keep on persevering. Even if I don't come out on top, if it be at football, there's other things, life lessons that you learn from it and that I've taken from this.
Spencer has already gotten his undergraduate degree. He's working on his master's now. He's also been married for nearly 2 years to his bride, Whitney. He's a mature, thoughtful young man with great character. And while his injuries have frustrated a football career, the game has provided him with some great lessons.
The preparation that goes into games, and that will provide me, basically a jumping board to get into my future. It just teach me how to prepare for my job in the future, whatever it may be, prepare for different obstacles that may come about. So.
Spencer says he's given coaching some consideration, but only at the high school level. For now, he's glad to be following his dream, and while he may not get much playing time, he's invaluable as a mentor to his younger quarterback teammates at Michigan. You see, he's passing along the wisdom of his years to help them meet the challenges ahead.
When you're quarterback, you don't only have those external forces that play into how you perform, but also those internal forces where you have those self-doubts. Am I supposed to be here? Do I have that ability? The biggest thing is to just get it off your shoulders. Express your frustration and get it off you so you don't have to, so they don't build up inside of you. And that's one thing that that as a quarterback group that we've been able to do is just be there for a support group. Get how you feeling. Get those feelings outside of your head so you can go out there and play with a clear mind and play in a positive manner.
Spencer Britton has been quite a story at Michigan, and you're going to be kind of sad to see him go. I mean, this is last year, but he's a guy that had a great deal of promise and hasn't seen a lot of playing time, but he's never given up on it.
Jim, he symbolizes what you want in a team player and a guy that every person on our team, our staff, respects and admires him because of the character that you mentioned. This guy is really something special. I love him to death, and he's had such a great impact, even though he isn't playing a role. His career didn't go the way he wanted, but he's going to get a master's degree here. He's going to be a great success in life, and I just am fortunate to have had the opportunity to meet this kid. His mother told me when he signed here, she came in for a visit. She said, "Coach, I want you to know this is one great kid you're getting." Now I'm thinking, well, most mothers say that, but she was right.
And he has proven he's a great kid indeed. When we come back, we'll scout those Minnesota Golden Gophers, but first we hear from Ernest Shazor, who says he's got an idea on how to handle those Gophers.
There's not one day I don't go by and think about Minnesota, but we got to come out and play real physical with Minnesota because they're a physical team, so we got to come out and put the hats on them boys.
Or charge by phone or log on to Ticketmaster.com.
Michigan Replay takes you inside the locker room.
Minnesota's a great team. We struggled with them last year, but last year's gone. This is this year. We've got to improve, and they're going to come in there fighting hard, but it's our house, and we have to defend our house.
David Bass, of course, talking about last year when Michigan made the great comeback in Minneapolis to retain the Little Brown Jug after being down, and you came back one of your great comebacks. And
do you remember the 1903 game, Jim?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Yost actually called me up. Says, "Jim, what am I going to do with the jug?" No, but you had a great comeback last year. This year, going in what Minnesota's going to give you.
Oh, my goodness.
This is a running machine.
This is what you are thinking about.
This is
what you're dreaming about.
This is why you come to Michigan to play in a game like this.
Well, yeah, it is, and this young quarterback here, gets a lot of single coverage on these wide receivers because, Jim, you got to gang up to stop the run.
And the two guys that are running, Marion Barber and Lawrence Maroney.
Well, Barber is, a great back, powerful, probably a little bit more powerful than Maroney. But he's got good speed. They're ranked, I think, going into this game 10th and 11th in the nation in rushing. Two guys in the same team that split the time. Glenn has said some things about trying to get them both in the game at the same time, but they're really special.
And because of the running game, you got to gang up on it. They've got receivers that can make plays that are getting one-on-one coverage.
Well, they do a great job on the three-step drop, and the quarterback throws the fade route, the deep route, and then play action there that you just saw. They're really a well-designed offense based on the running game.
And the other thing is defensively, they don't get a lot of notoriety because of the offense that they've got, but they can play deep.
Well, Darrell Reed is their best player from a year ago, returns. They moved him from inside to the defensive end, and an outstanding football player along with Terrence Campbell, their leading tackler, and Yuki Dozier, who is a cornerback. 7 starters on both sides of the ball returned. an outstanding kicker in Reese Lloyd, who made 2 50-yard field goals a year ago and won 2 games at the end by making field goals.
When you come into a game like this, obviously there's game planning involved because you know what they're going to do. I mean, this is not a mystery team. They're going to pitch it and they're going to hand it.
Jim, the thing that we had a real difficulty a year ago is they are masters at what we call the chop block. They're going to come on the perimeter and block the outside backers and the safeties below the waist, get them on the ground, and now that creates, when they're on the ground, that creates great running lanes for these backs. So we've got to be able to do a much better job than we did a year ago for 3 quarters at least.
And again, you're in a situation too where will you commit the extra guy in the box and will you be in man coverage in some situations?
Well, I think you have to mix
you?
it up. You can't just line up and tell them what they're going to do because those receivers are too good. And this young quarterback has thrown the ball very effectively. So you've got to be able to stop the run, but you can't hang your corners out every down. You've got to mix your coverage.
And a blitz is tough because if you blitz and you get one of these guys that breaks the line of scrimmage, it's over.
It's over, and we found that out a year ago.
Yes.
If you remember,
on the quarterback
keep. So yeah, you've got to. Hey, they're going to gain their yards and they're going to score some points. They're just too good. If you look at the NCAA statistics on every offensive category, they're up there.
If your offense,
we got to do a job offensively.
Control the clock so that offense sits on the sideline.
That's what we got to try to do.
That's the story, and it should be a dandy. It's the battle for the Little Brown Jug. 2 great football teams, one of the best rushing attacks in the country against one of the best defenses. Man, it sets up to be a dandy at Michigan Stadium. Make sure you're back here next week for all of it right here on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Chevrolet. Stop by your Detroit area Chevy dealers or log on to DetroitAreaChevyDealers.com. And by State Farm, providing insurance and financial services.